Hey, in this YouTube video, I'm going to introduce you to Salesforce, the web browser-based customer relationship management CRM system, software as a service. And I'm going to base it off of Salesforce for Dummies. I'm going to introduce you to the first half of this book in this video, and the second half of the book in a second video that I'm going to upload in 2 days. So here on Amazon Kindle, here are the chapters in the book, Salesforce for Dummies. It's a recently published book as of summer 2019. So to get a Salesforce trial for 14 or 30 days, you basically Google Salesforce trial, you click here, fill out your information, and you'll receive an email. So this first link here is how you log in. You enter this into your browser, and then the second link here is your username that you use to log in. So I went to that link right there, and let me just copy over my username and enter the password, and I'll click login. So now I just logged into Salesforce, and I mean, here's the basic Lightning layout when you log in. So why Salesforce is really useful is it's kind of a client service, communication, and collaborative team environment web browser where you can track like all the different accounts or contacts or your events over here and your tasks. So you could have daily tasks. You could sync this to Microsoft Outlook with your tasks and your events, and you can email different people. So you could select like a contact here, go over here to email, and you can send emails. And what's really cool about it is this notification thing up here. So you could basically follow like certain accounts or certain contacts. You could mass upload leads, which I'll show you how to do, and assign leads to different people within your system, because all users have access to the same data. And you could also limit who has access to what data. And then also there's like a social media section, kind of, it's called Chatter, and each of the users on your team, they could post stuff here, and you could create groups so that like your clients can access certain restricted, confidential, non-confidential information, and you could limit who has access to what. And with streams, you could follow like accounts or cases or files or people or calls, so you can just get notified with whenever interactions happen with your clients, and you can track different opportunities as they progress and move the revenue as they progress through the stages. So that's like a basic quick overview of Salesforce and why it's kind of useful to know it. It's a very useful program, and it's very easy to learn. So I mean, there are 4 different versions of Salesforce, which I'm not really going to go over, but it's basically like Salesforce Essentials, Lightning Professional, Lightning Enterprise, and Lightning Unlimited, and each of them have extra upgrades, such as like live chat and working with like leads and all this other stuff, but that's not really important. So I mean, there are 2 different dashboard layouts. You could switch to Salesforce Classic, or which I'm going to do right now. And here's the classic view of the dashboard. I prefer the Lightning Experience layout. So this is the Lightning Experience layout. It looks much cleaner, and this is the newer one. So basically up here is the navigation pane. You got the home, lead, accounts, contacts, opportunities, cases, tasks. All of these different words up here are called tabs, and each of them have like this little down triangle next to it, which is a drill down, and you could click that to add a new lead or to select different recently looked at leads or lists that you created. So up here is the search bar. You could type anything up here and search for like a particular customer or an account, or you can select the filter and then search for a particular tab and then search for the people there. So I mean, yeah, like Salesforce, it integrates with Microsoft Outlook. So what's really cool about it is like you could sync up your events and your tasks, and you could send emails as if you're sending them from Microsoft Outlook while you're sending them from Salesforce. And yeah, there's so many different like applications, and when you're working in a team environment, you could collaborate and communicate in a fast way, and everyone knows the progress of all the team members as the day goes on. So right now I'm just going to click up here and select settings, and over here it has your new username. So this is the username you actually get in your verification email, so you could keep track of that there. Over here you could select change my password if you don't like the password that you were given, and you could type in your password, and it has to have this over here to be eligible. So up here you could select like help and training, this little question mark. You select that and you can do like help and training if you want. And I'm just going to go back to the home page. So this is the home page where you have your events and your tasks. So over here, this little pencil mark alongside the navigation pane, you click that and you could actually add more items to the navigation pane, and like so many different items, such as like the recycling bin for anything that you delete, or chatter. Chatter initially isn't on the navigation pane, but you could add it. So there's so many different apps and stuff that you can add. And then over here is like the app section. So you can search like recycle bin, and access all the deleted accounts or whatever, and they stay there for 14 days. And then once you actually click something in the apps, it shows up here with like a little star, and then you could click the drill down and click and add the recycle bin to the nav bar after you use it. And it's just there momentarily while you're using Salesforce. So I mean, here's like I guess a quick overview of what each of the tabs mean. So leads is kind of a section where these are potential customers or potential business, and you could import or create manual leads, and basically at the end of it you can convert the leads, and then you can convert them to an account and create a new contact, create a new opportunity, or choose an existing one to merge with when they're created. So leads, you basically upload them and then they could potentially become accounts. So accounts are the main like top hierarchy of the clients. You have like account, and you could have accounts that are parents to other accounts. So basically, let me click on like account 1 for example. Over here it has parent account is account 2. So account 2 is the parent to account 1. So if you go over here and you click view account hierarchy, you can see that account 2 is the parent to account 1 and account 3. So you could have like accounts that are master accounts with sub accounts underneath them, kind of like it would be, I guess, like Salesforce owns Tableau. So Salesforce is the parent account and Tableau is the sub account. So you got contacts too. So contacts, you could store like contact information, email information. So I'm just gonna, for fake name, I'm just gonna do like fake name at gmail.com. You click the pencil to edit any of the fields there, and like the contacts, you could have them so that they like reports to. And what's cool about accounts and contacts is that contacts, they could be assigned to accounts. So you can track all the information for the accounts with the contacts. So accounts are kind of like the parents of contacts, and then contacts are the parents of opportunities. So opportunities, I'm going to switch the view here to table view. This is the normal view. So when you create an opportunity, you can schedule like an amount for it or the probability that it will happen, and then you could update it as you negotiate with the potential client. And what's cool about opportunities is basically they have contacts that are a part of them, and then they have like cases. So when you go to contacts on the contact page, you could actually create an opportunity for the contacts. Or if you go to accounts, you could select an account and you could create an opportunity for an account, and you could assign, it gets assigned to like that account. Or if you go to contacts and you go to opportunities, and I'll just create a new one, it gets assigned to that contacts account also. So it just rolls all the way up to account. So I'm just going to go back and to the home page and just walk through the basic Salesforce thing. So up here, this gear is the setup. I'll show you how to walk through that, but it's basically you could adjust like the layout of your different pages. You can adjust user settings, permissions, and basic administrative stuff within Salesforce. So here under today's events, This is just like the events that are going to happen. You could sync your work calendar with Salesforce, and then I guess you click up here, you can see like your recently viewed items within the search bar up there. So I mean, within your Microsoft Outlook, you could actually enable Salesforce. I'll show you that in my next video, but basically you go on the Home tab on Outlook and you select Get Add-ins, and then you add in Salesforce, and then in Salesforce you basically go to this gear and you enable like Outlook integration and sync, and then Outlook integration, and use enhanced email with Outlook, and you click Edit and Active, and basically it activates everything. I'm going to skip that for now and actually go over that in the next video. So under tasks, if you click here, you could go to today, my tasks completed within the last 7 days. So basically a task, I'm just going to view all. So like a task basically is you have like completed tasks, and what the task is you assign it to a certain person. So I assigned it to this person, Brian, and it could be like related to like a particular account, so you could relate it to a particular account, and like you do an action with a particular client. So it's like call Joe Schmo or send email to Joe Schmo, and then you could write like a comment about like how the client responded, like, and you could just log information, put a due date, put a reminder for when you want to get reminded, select completed, priority normal, save. So this was a completed task, so it's no longer showing on my home page. But if I click here, I could select new task. So you could select people that you want to assign it to. I'm just going to assign it to one person. I'm going to assign it to account 1 with a fake name, and this task is just going to be call fake. And for the day, I'm just going to select today's date and 8:14 a.m. Status not started. And I'm going to click, oh, accidentally click cancel. Let me just fill that out again. Call fake. (8:14 a.m.) I'm going to click save. So if you go to the home bar, so this just popped up. It says call fake a few seconds ago. So I set it the reminder for December 18th at 8:14. So it just gave me a reminder. I didn't set a due date, but let me just create like a new task right now, and I'll select call fake 2. And for the due date, I'm going to select today, and then for the reminder, I'm going to select 8:15 a.m. this time. I'm going to click save and go to home. So now that I set a due date and it's today, it shows up on the home page on the tasks. And if I go here, I could go to my tasks, and it just has like all the different tasks. So here's my task today, here's my task yesterday, and basically at 8:15 you get like a reminder that like you should complete the second task. And yeah, so basically when you want to mark a task completed, you could select this checkbox here, and that basically marks it completed, and you could choose the status not started. So over here I'm just going to click like over here, and then you could also select mark complete up here, and then that'll mark the task complete. You could also go to tasks here and then mark it as complete there, so you could keep track of like your daily workload. And I mean, it kind of will make more sense when you see like the leads, when you could like update the leads and have them auto assigned to certain users. So that could be like the daily workload. Like you could upload like 1,000 accounts or up to like 50,000 accounts, and then auto assign based on like geography and state, and say like, hey, you guys email these 50,000 or these 10,000 people, So I'm going to go to accounts, and for accounts I'm going to go up here. It has the different list views. So right now it's under recently viewed. So you can go to like accounts or like my accounts, and it has like the account owner alias over here. If you want to make this your default view when you open accounts, you check this pin right here, and when you open up accounts, now my accounts will be the default view. So if you want to make a new account, you click up here, new, and then basically you just fill out the account name, like account 4. See this star here? That means that's the only required field here. I'm just going to click save, but for each of the accounts you can fill out their shipping address, revenue, employees, basic contact information, and location. So I'm going to click save, and the account owner is me. So you could search the accounts by clicking over here. You can update a field. You could click here to update a field, and then, or you could click within here and just click the pencil marks to update any of the fields. Click save when you're done. You can delete a record. So if you go to accounts, you could check here and then select delete to delete a account. So if you select the gear icon and you go to if you select this gear icon, you select new, and for this you could just do like new underscore account list view, and then for who can see it, and you could say only I could see it, only I as a user could see it, or all users can see it, and you click save. So for the new accounts, you could basically add like a filter and say like where the city is, like, or like where the state is New York. Click done. So this view will only see New York, and then you could just cycle through your different views and look at all the different accounts and all the different states, or wherever, however you filter your view for the particular accounts. You can add a filter. So I'm going to click cancel. Under the gear, you could select fields to display for your particular view. You could select whichever one of those in the new account fields that you want. Later I'll show you how to actually create a field that'll sum up all of the information based on a particular field for like all of the opportunities which roll up to the accounts. So right here you just select a column, you press right, and then press save, and now that field, it actually appears in this view. And you can resize the fields like this. So for each of the accounts, you can add contacts for each of the accounts. So these are the two contacts that are part of account 1, fake name and Joe Schmo. So I open up fake name, and under account name it has account 1. So when you create contacts, you can make them a part of accounts, and then you can filter those accounts by whatever fields you want. So you can organize your contacts by location and quickly like drill down to whichever contact you want to work with. So if you go over here to your picture, you could select your actual name, and then if you click up here next to this camera, you could change your profile picture, which will be how you show up in chatter when you're speaking with your teammates. And you could also scroll down for your profile and you can see all your recent activity. So like change this, or updated this record, or closed this opportunity, or wrote this status. So it basically just updates anytime you really do something. Like here I just wrote a post. You could like post, comment post, share post, click here, and you could bookmark posts, delete posts, and I'll go over Chatter a little bit more later on. So if you select here at the top right and select settings, you can go to display and layout and customize my pages. So you could select the accounts page, or for example the contacts page, but I'm just going to select accounts page, customize. So you can move like all this information up in priority or down in priority. So on the accounts page, let me just take a screenshot of this. So on the accounts page, basically you have like the contacts, opportunities, cases, notes, and files. So here's like all those fields right there. I'm just going to go back to where I was. And under email, you go to my email settings, and when you send an email, you could have your name appear as this or your email address appear as this, and you could create a signature. And for my email to Salesforce, you could include this email, and it says if you use a company provided or third-party email address, use email to Salesforce to save emails as activities. So you could kind of send an email from a different location, and then it'll actually log like a lead or a contact or an opportunity within Salesforce if you include this email to Salesforce address. And then under advanced user details, under my personal information, you can actually see your time zone. So here's my time zone, Eastern Standard Time. You click edit and then scroll all the way down here, and you could change your time zone. So when you're linked to Outlook, you actually have the right time zone, which is very important. So over here under grant login access, you can create access, and then people can log into your profile. So Salesforce support, I could give them 1 day access, click save, and then they could log into my account for about 1 day. And then I guess if you're an admin, you could select the gear at the top right, click setup, and then go to the administrative section, select users, and you can see all the users here. And then to the left of the name, you could basically log in as like a particular user if you want, if they give you access. Salesforce also has mobile. So what's cool about Salesforce mobile is you could basically download on your iPhone, for example, and go to the App Store and just download Salesforce, and an administrator can enable it for your users and organization, and define which users can access the app, customize how data appears in it, and create actions to add new records. So you can work with Salesforce while you're mobile. And here's how to set up Salesforce mobile. You basically, here I got this notification for a call fake too. And so to set up Salesforce mobile, you click the gear icon at the top right, and you select setup. And then you select apps heading and mobile apps. Salesforce branding. So over here you could change like the brand color, the loading page color, the loading page logo. So you can kind of change like the logo and how everything looks on it. So over here in Salesforce navigation, you can move like the mobile app, because we're editing how like the mobile app looks, and you could edit which sections are more important and move them up and down, so you can click them at the top of the screen a little bit easier. And you go to notifications and enable notifications. And you could allow people to import contacts from mobile device if you want or not. So now I'm going to show you on the navigation pane. Let me just go back to home. And so for accounts, you could select here and click new account and just add a new account. And then I guess over here under the apps, you can search for the recycling bin and restore an account for about 14 days. And if you go to accounts and select an account, so here's all the activity for the account. So if you have any tasks or communications with a particular account or client, you could actually view the historical stuff. So here's all the stuff that happened yesterday. Click this filter and you can see like the last 7 days, the next 7 days, and see how you could plan your day around that account. And I mean, if you have your accounts filtered by my accounts, you can just track all of your own accounts and see how each of them are going to progress. You could create like a new task for each of the accounts, which will then appear on your home page, or you could create a new event, which will appear on your calendar, which I'll review a little bit later. So how to create an event, you could go to your calendar, in addition to where I just showed you, and so you could select time on the schedule to schedule a meeting or appointment. So I guess on the 18th at 8:30 a.m. And for the subject, I'm going to do email, fake name, account 1, and I'll select save. So now that's added to my calendar. You can select my events there. And if you go to the home page, you have this event over here, over here at 8:30. And then if you go to accounts now, account 1, it has all the activity. So for here is an email for fake name. They have an upcoming event at 8:30 a.m. So I mean, let me go here. So it's assigned to a particular person. You could assign work to people, and then they'll get a notification like, oh hey, I want you to call this person, or you to call that person, or you to complete this task. So it's a good way to like assign work to people with like the events or the tasks. They're basically interchangeable. And I mean, if you watch my Outlook video, you can see like the difference between events and like to-do list, tasks, and like the calendar and the schedule with appointments. So I guess the next topic that I'm going to talk over is give me a second. I guess I'm going to go over like Chatter now. So go to Chatter, and if you don't have that there, you can click the apps up here and then search Chatter, and then select that there, and then it'll appear up here. And like I said before, you could click there and then click add Chatter to your navigation pane. You could also click up here and add more items, and then search for Chatter and add it to your navigation pane so that it's there the next time you open up Salesforce. So what Chatter really does is it bridges a gap between sharing useful information with colleagues, and you can communicate with colleagues really quickly in a central place where all the users can update statuses and basically follow different topics, accounts, clients, or join different groups for different projects and receive notifications whenever certain tasks or activities are done. So if you're like the boss and you want to know who's doing what at what time, you could just get notifications about everyone's progress throughout the day. And you could also add customers to Chatter and limit what they could see and access and change, and so customers can have access to information, and they basically just need your link, and then they could access a particular section. And so it's good for customers too, because they don't even have to communicate with you, they could just access stuff. And the external license is like the free license, and you could add them to specific Chatter groups for collaborative projects, but they can't see your Salesforce data. So they can't see your data, but they can join like the groups if they're clients. So to enable Chatter, if you don't have it enabled, you basically click the gear at the top right, you select setup, you go to platform tools right here, and feature settings, Chatter. Chatter settings, and then you select edit here, and then right here it says enable, you just check that box to enable Chatter. So over here you can check this box to allow customer invitations. For customers, you could invite them to groups that they could own or manage. You can edit quite a few different settings. Post and comment modification, you could let people edit stuff once they post, and they can modify the text. Under allow post pinning, you can pin post feeds, so you could pin up to 3 posts to your Chatter feed at the top of a group. So let me just go to Chatter. So over here you have the left hand section. So what you have, what I follow, you have to me, you have bookmarks, company highlights, and my drafts, streams, and groups. So what I follow, you click here to see a quick view of the latest from records or people that you follow. You have to me, so if someone types a status and then puts like ampersand and then your name, that you can actually reference a particular person. You can go to bookmarked. So if you actually click here and select bookmark, you can check all your bookmarks if you're following certain things. You could highlight, scroll over a person's name, and then you could select their name and click follow. So you could follow and get notifications about any status updates from a person, which they could post on Chatter or they could post in the recent groups. And if you go to, I guess, setup gear, feature settings, and Chatter and feed tracking, you can, I guess, you can go to like contacts. So enable feed tracking for objects, so users can follow records of the object type. So these are the fields that users can track and see feed updates when certain fields are changed on records that they follow. So if you're following a certain person and they make like a change to a contact or they schedule an event, you can enable feed tracking, and then you can learn about any field updates as people adjust fields. You can, over here on Chatter, you could select here and go to streams, and then enter like a stream name, like 123, and then you could select like accounts. So like I want to know about account 1, and I want to know about this user, and I want to know about this contact, and I want to know about every post. You click save, so then you have this stream, and you could see all the activity for this particular stream. And then under, I guess, edit. Yeah, so I mean, under recent groups, you could create a group and name it, and then you could have like an owner of a group access type. You can make it public or private, so you could limit who has access to the group, and then you could post all different statuses in a different group. And you could have users ask to join groups if they're not a part of it. So if you go to Profile and Settings, you can click Chatter and Email Notifications. And you can select Receive Emails or get an email when someone follows you, comments. And you could set frequency of stuff, and then go to My Feeds. And then you could automatically follow records that you create. So now I'm going to go over leads. So a lead is a person or company that may be interested in your services. Prospects, it's kind of information that you could just keep uploading, and then you can convert them into accounts, contacts. So here is a particular lead. You could select the status converted and then select converted status, and you could create a new account or choose an existing account, and basically you can like upload leads and then convert them into accounts or contacts or opportunities, or all three. So a lead owner can be a person or a group. So here I'll go to Edit and or Change Owner. So you can change the owner to particular users in your system, or you can make the owner a queue, which I'll show you how to create in a little bit. So over here on leads, you select import. Well, you could click new to create a new lead, and then you fill out any of the information here, or you click import, select individuals. I have a CSV file, and basically in Excel you could just make a CSV file, and then if you go to like a view that has everything, you could select fields to display. And if you make the CSV file with the columns with the same names as the columns within Salesforce, which is name, company, state, province, phone, email, etc., then when you import, it'll actually, you match which columns are which to Salesforce, and then it'll upload into your leads. So that's how you could upload from Excel. And any potential duplicates, if you click on a name, it'll have any potential duplicates if the data matches in the fields, and then you could actually click merge, and you can merge duplicate leads. So I'm going to show you how to set up a queue, because so if you go to leads and you want to change the owner, and you want to select like a particular queue for that person instead of like a person, I'll show you how to set up a queue. So you go to setup, users, queues, and you select new. So over here I'm just going to do like lead example queue and 3. So you just put underscores there because you have to. And then you select down here, you select lead, add, and then you select the users that you want to be a part of the queue. You can select multiple users, and then you click save. So now I created this queue. So basically if I go over here to leads now, and I guess I'll refresh. Now under this like view, list view, I have lead example Q3. So I have everything, I guess, assigned to myself. So I'll go to all open leads, and I'll change the owner to Brian. I'll click submit, and then I'll go to leads and lead example Q3. There's nothing there. But yeah, but I could click like all the open leads, and I'll select this person, and I'll change the owner to like a queue. So I guess for the queue, it'll be lead example 3, and I'll click submit, go to leads, and lead example 3. So you could move like leads from like one view to another view based on whatever. So you can like finish a group of clients and then move them to this batch, so you can improve all the clients and then move them to a different queue. And then once they're done with this queue, you could assign them to different users. So you could have like, you import the queue and then have like someone review them, and you move them to this queue, and whoever checks over all the imports, and then they could assign them to a different person. And then so you could click here now and then click change owner and make it like a person that is in charge of the lead. And you go to like my leads, today's leads, yeah. So those are all the different views, and you could have auto assignment for leads if you go to setup and you search lead settings, and the default lead owner, you could edit this here, and the queue or user that will own a lead when assignment rules fail to locate an owner. So when there is a lead and nobody's assigned it, then this is the default lead owner, and you could click notify if you want them to be notified. And then under lead assignment rules, for this one I'm just going to actually switch to classic view just because it doesn't work in Lightning View. So I'm going to switch to Salesforce Classic, and I'm going to select setup, and over here in quick find I'm going to type lead settings, select that there. Oh, actually I'm going to type in lead queue, or lead assignment. And then click lead assignment rules. So over here I'm going to select new, and for the rule name it's just going to be, I guess, lead assignment rule 1, and I'll click active and save. So I'll select the rule, and then I'll select new. I don't know what the sort order means, but I'm just going to press 1. And for, I guess, the lead, you can sort it by like the state, and then select like contains or equals New Jersey, and then for that you could select a user. So anytime you get a new lead and the state equals New Jersey, it automatically gets assigned to this person, and you can click save. So now this rule exists for leads. So you could mass delete records. So if basically you go up to here to the apps and you select mass delete, or mass deletes in setup. So you go to setup and you select mass delete, and then mass delete records. So basically before I auto assign leads to Brian, so now I'm just going to mass delete leads, and I'm going to select a state and equals New Jersey. So you could, or like you could select yeah, like you could mass delete any state that is New Jersey. Click permanently delete search, and it'll show whatever records, and then you could delete it. So that's how you can mass delete records. So under accounts, I guess I'll go to contacts now. So under contacts, contacts are assigned to accounts, which can be a part of other accounts. Accounts have cases and opportunities. Leads can be assigned as new accounts or existing accounts. Contacts are opportunities. So under the year, you can select if you change your view, go to like all contacts or birthdays this month, and then select the year. You could change the fields to display, and you could add whichever columns you want. And then you import the same way as you import the leads. You can select import individuals, CSV, and you could base it based on the columns. You could import up to 50,000 records for contacts. And I mean, you could also sync your Outlook to your Salesforce. So I mean, for each of the contacts, you can select like a contact and then click over here and view contact hierarchy, and you could have like, you could see like how the accounts are. You could have like reports to, and you could have this person reports to fake name. Click save, and then when you go to contact hierarchy, you could see which accounts are sub accounts to who. So fake name, Alex Wolf reports to the fake name, Joe Schmo reports to fake name, and contact 5 reports to Joe Schmo. So it's kind of like you can make like kind of like an org chart for different companies, and like which person at which company is the manager and whatever. So now I'm going to go over opportunities. So over here on opportunities, so you can create like a new opportunity if you want over there. And here's what the basic stuff looks like. You got the account owner, opportunity owner. You have the stage of it. You have the probability it's going to happen, the amount of money you're going to make, the account it's assigned to. And I guess, see how I'm on the opportunities on the nav bar, navigation pane. You can click accounts and select an account, and then you could add an opportunity from here, or you can go to contacts and select a contact and click opportunities and click add an opportunity from here. And I mean, for each of the opportunities, you can track the progress and the different stages of it. And if you go to opportunities, you can select the Kanban, and you could see each of the different stages of the opportunities and drag them around. And so under like when you create an opportunity under an account, it automatically gets assigned to that contact or that account. And I guess now I'm going to go to setup. And then under quick find, I'm going to do object manager. Select that. And under accounts, you select account, field and relationships, new, and you select roll up summary, and next. So for field label, I'm just going to do like total revenue from the amount field within opportunities. You can type whatever. This is just the name that I'm using. Press next, and you select the object that you're summarizing, opportunities. You click sum, field to aggregate. So you could aggregate the amount, the probability, the expected revenue, or the quantity. So I'm going to do amount, and then you could also filter, and you could also only sum up based on particular fields, filters. I'm going to do all anyway. And then you can see who this field is visible to and who can see it. And then it appears on the account layout. So on your account page or tab on the nav bar, you'll have this new column field which you can add. So I just created that. So now I'm going to go to accounts, and I'm going to select, I guess, account 1 and click the opportunity. So account 1 has 2 opportunities. It has op and then op 2, and the total is about $333. So what's cool about the column that I just created under accounts, right now I could actually view the total of the opportunities that roll up to account 1. So if I go to here and I change the select fields to display, I can add total revenue amount opportunities column that I just made, click save. So now this 333 column, it actually adds up all the opportunities underneath the accounts. So under account 2, if I actually create an opportunity, right now there's no opportunities with amounts. I'm just going to call this example, and I'm going to put the amount is 1500 and click save. So now this opportunity is there. Go to accounts and I'll select here. So now this total revenue amount's there. So that's how you can create a sum based on all of the underlying opportunities underneath an account, and they automatically add up. And I mean, what's cool is you can also not only add them up based on particular accounts, but you can add them up based on particular stages. And you could summarize them by like annual revenue, group by like the account owner, and you could see like all the revenue by particular things. So for, I guess, recently viewed, I'll go to Kanban view and I'll summarize them by annual revenue, by like, yeah, I only have one account owner, so it kind of looks bad, but yeah, I mean, if we go to opportunities in Kanban view, then you could like drag them and you can move, like, here's the opportunity I made right now, example, so you can move it and track them as they progress throughout the deal cycle until you complete them. And then you get, yeah. For the last section of this video, I'm going to show you the reports in Salesforce. So reports are on the navigation pane. So basically, over here you have like the search. You could search the reports. I'm just going to open up a report. So within a report, you could click here to search the table. So I could search like account, and then it highlights that particular record within the report, so you could find stuff a little bit quicker. And then you could click filter, and you can filter the report by the different columns, such as like my accounts, and then you can filter by days. And there's also filters when you're building the reports. And then also under edit, you can save a report, save as a report if you want a second report. And then within edit, that's how you can edit the report after it's already been made. But for now, I'm just going to go to reports, and I'm going to select new report, and I'm going to build a report. So here are all the different objects you could build the report based on. You could build it based on accounts, contacts and accounts, opportunities. So there's so many different solutions. So I'm just going to build it based on contacts and accounts, and press continue. So over here is the filters. You can select my contacts, my team's accounts, all accounts, my accounts, and then you could filter by a particular day range. And then you can also add a filter too. So say you only wanted mailing state, so many columns, and then equals, I'll put like New York, press apply, and then you click refresh, and there's only one record that has that, so I'm just going to remove that filter and click refresh. So the outline view, you can group the different rows. So I'm going to group by account name. See, there are two trail expert codes, so I'm just going to group by account name. And click refresh. So now, like, account 1 is grouped by itself and account 3 is grouped. And then you like this detailed thing down here, the row counts, has like how many there are. So there are like 2 backcountry outposts, and it has them all grouped by rows. So all the unique ones are just grouped together, and then you get a subtotal for each of them. There happens to be no numbers here, so it doesn't provide any subtotals. And then there are no grand totals either because there's no numbers, but let me just add a column. I'll go to like annual revenue and click refresh. None of these have revenue, so and I'm going to go back to reports, and I'm just going to discard this report and open up this report. So here you could toggle the chart if you want a chart on or off, and then you could select over here and you could select which kind of chart you want. So like I said, in this report all of the revenues are 0, and then Trail Ranger is 1 million, and I had this chart build based on the annual revenue. So under edit, you can go to and change like the summaries for a column. So you can click here and you can click summarize based on sum, average, max, or min for all these groupings. So instead of like the sum of the annual revenue, I could get like the max. If it happened to be grouped by a row, then you could just get the average for the group. And then you could also select bucket this column. So I'm going to do bucket, and I'm going to do like less than 0 or greater than 0. So that creates a like column called small revenue if it's less than 0, and then large revenue if it's greater than 0. So you could categorize if it's a big or small customer. And then you could export a report to Excel by going up to, I'm just going to click save and then close the report. And then just going to go to reports. So you can open up a report and then go to edit and export, and you could export a file as an XLSX or an XLS file or a CSV file. The XLS can't have that many rows, and as the XLS file, I'll just show both of them. So this one has like the fancy formatting, and then here's the XLS. So you just have to keep in mind like how many rows you can do with each of them. And this one just has like a standard table with no spacing. Then it has like the annual revenue here, and So over in like edit, you can create fields or calculated formulas. So I created a formula here. You could click here and create a formula. I'm going to do that. And then you basically just name it here. So I'm going to do like sales sum plus total opportunities sum. And it's going to just be a number. You could do a currency, a percent, or decimal points. So basically you select the fields over here, and you could select the annual revenue, and then you select insert, and then you add like plus, and I'm just going to do the total deals closed 999 that I did before, total revenue amount opportunities. So you could basically you could create your own like summations of this. Right here was the summation that we did before of the opportunities that were a part of count 1, and they all rolled up to that, and you could actually add filters to that custom summation that we did before to make it even more specific, and then you could add that to like the total sales, and I'll press apply, and that'll create this new column. And basically I'll remove the other one that I did before. So that's how you can remove a column. So basically the annual revenue is 0, and then it just, remember account 1 had $333 in that total opportunities thing that we did before. So it basically adds that, and then example 2 I guess had 1,500. So that's kind of how that addition works. And notice how I have like colors and annual revenue. You could select conditional formatting, and then you could add conditional formatting for a particular column, and then you could have like 0 is red, or greater than 0 is that color. And here's how I have it. I have sum of annual revenue is if it's less than 0 it's red, and if it's greater than 1 it is green. So you could add colors to the reports. And yeah, I mean, you could select like different fields, and you could add columns to your report by clicking here and say like I want the account owner to be added. So now the account owner's over here, and then you could like rearrange the columns and refresh. And I mean, you could add like groups, like which we did before for rows or columns, and you could save, create, select the different charts that you want, and switch between the different charts. And it has like the legend here, and like the value I want to show like the sales, like the calculated field we made before. So I'm going to click refresh. So now you can see like all the different legends here, and they get all their different colors. And let me change like the chart to like a column chart, and I'll click refresh. So you can see like how like everything is kind of set up, and like the balances in all the different accounts. And then I mean, you can click save, and then whenever you want to access this report, you could just open it up later, and then you have the same report, and everything looks the same. So I mean, and then any changes you do within like your accounts will update, and then you could just look at your report and say like, oh, now we have like another $1 million. And yeah, that's basically it for this video.